could have your attention, please. We're going to get started. I wanted to give a quick update before we get started. We are $46 short of $400,000 at this point. And just because you're in here doesn't mean you can't get online and give. So if you want to help us get over that hump. So I'm going to introduce Greg Bamberger, who will introduce the panelists. But I wanted to thank our sponsor, WVRC. Sorry, it's been a long day. WVRC for sponsoring tonight's event. And thank all of you for being here. I think it's going to be a great event. It also allows me to sit and not speak for like an hour, which is amazing. So thank you all for being here. You're going to hear from some amazing coaches tonight. But first, I want to hand things over to our athletic director, Greg Bamberger, for some remarks.
I'm going to stay down here. First off, I want to thank Compass Realty for a title sponsor. Also, thank you so much for your support. And obviously, thank you to WVRC for everything they do for us also. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. First time we've tried this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun with our coaches. Just an update from the athletic department standing. Okay, we are just shy of $200,000. So we're doing a great job. And if you've watched some of the live stream today, I know Dr. Davis has finished every one of his interviews with people, what makes Fairmont great, and they've all said the same thing. The people and the community, and that's absolutely what it is. So thank you for all that you do, and I'm looking forward to this evening. But you don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from these other people. I think WVRC has a little presentation they would like to make. Dr. Davis, if you could come up. Guys. It's the voice of the Falcons, Travis Jones. CEO, George Pelletier, and Brett Hunt. So, we have it for you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. On behalf of WVRC Media, it is our pleasure on this annual Day of Giving at Fairmont State University to present a check to Fairmont State Athletics to help out with the cause. As Greg mentioned, we're $46 away, so this will help push us over and hopefully keep going towards that goal of $700,000. So again, on behalf of WVRC Media and the radio partner Sky 106.5, the flagship for Fairmont State Athletics, we thank you for coming and supporting this coaches panel tonight. And thank you, and continue to spread the word about the Day of Giving.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you, sir. All right, thank you. Just so everybody's aware, that the check they're giving to us for athletic scholarships is a $4,000 check. So thank you very much. Now for the reason you really came, besides the nice meal you're going to have in a few minutes, I want to introduce our moderators. These two young people have also been doing our podcast, if you've watched any of those on our website. Two great young people, great student athletes. Ladies first. Lizzie Marr, one of our acrobatic and tumbling student athletes, and Chris Hoover. Chris Hoover. You are. You feel good up there?
Yeah, you feel great up here.
I bet you do. Okay. Chris Hoover, one of our men's swimmers. So good to have them up here. I do want to mention one more thing. When we're done with the coaches panel, about 10 minutes or so before we have dinner, we are going to have a special auction for an item that I'll describe here in about 45 minutes or so. So, Lizzie, the floor is yours. You're going to introduce the coaches, right?
Yeah.
You know their names? Do you know your names?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you say them right?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
Hopefully. We'll see. Anyways, I'm Lizzie. Like Greg said, I'm on the acrobatics and tumbling team. I'm also the president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Chris is my vice president. We're sharing a mic tonight, so it's going to be a little bit awkward between us. But for those of you who don't know, the Student Athlete Advisory Committee is a group of student athletes who are almost leaders among the student athletes here at Fairmont State. We find it really important to be a voice for the student athletes. We vote on NCAA grids to make sure NCAA has student athlete perspectives when voting on legislation. And most of you probably know we're really big on raising money for Make-A-Wish. So that's a really big initiative we put a lot of time and effort into. We have a whole subcommittee, a part of SAC, that dedicates their time and practically life to fundraising for Make-A-Wish. We are currently at $8,300, and it is $10,000 to sponsor a wish. So we're working really hard to meet that goal. Dr. Davis was generous enough to find us a matching donor as well. So once we hit our $10,000 mark, we will have $20,000 and we'll be able to sponsor 2 wishes. So we're very, yes. I could talk about Make-A-Wish all day, but I promise that's not the only thing we do. We ensure our teams are going out into the communities, whether it's reading in schools or helping those in need through can drives and things of that nature. We really facilitate that, and I think that touches on most things. Behind the Wings is our big other thing. That's, I think, why me and Chris are up here today, because we can talk a lot. So with that, I think that kind of answers some questions about SAC. Let's bring the coaches up. So we have Coach Steph, who is the women's basketball coach. We have TK, who is the men's basketball coach. We have Coach Barker, who is the football coach. And then lastly, we have my coach, who is Coach D, the acrobatics and tumbling coach. Thank you. Chris, you want to start with Steph?
Oh, we have our own?
Yeah, well, me and Chris are sharing.
I thought we were passing.
No, you got your own.
All right. So, coaches, thank you so much for being here, spending the time, and thank you, everyone, like Lizzie said, for coming. We really appreciate it, and hopefully we can have a successful day of giving. So, we'll just get right into it. If each of you guys could just tell us a little bit about yourself and what journey led you here to Fairmont State.
I am Danielle Coutry. I am the acrobatics and tumbling coach here at Fairmont State. I came here as a student athlete in 2011, and I decided after graduating from Fairmont State, wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and the head coach at the time, Christy Kiefer, said, come on, be an assistant coach with me. And that's where my journey began, coaching. And now I'm on my 5th year as a head coach. I have 2 kids. I have a 6-month-old and a 3-year-old, and my husband works at Ruby. So it's been a journey, but I have loved every bit of it, and I consider Fairmont a home now.
I'm Stephanie Anderson. I'm the women's basketball coach. Basically, I'm from Morgantown, West Virginia. I came here as an assistant. I actually didn't even apply for the job. I was coaching an AAU team, and I actually was applying for PT school at the time. I didn't honestly know which journey I wanted to be on, and the coach at the time was recruiting one of my athletes, and he lost his assistant. So I met him at a soccer field, and he asked me if I would coach, and I was like, heck yeah, college coaching job, sure. I had no idea what I was getting into, but God led me this way, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else. So I was an assistant for 5 years, and then I was lucky enough to get the job, and now I've been here for 6. And same thing, I've got a lot of kids. I've got my son is 6, my daughter is 3, and then my newest son is 9 months old. Same thing. I also consider this home.
I'm Luke Barker. I'm the head football coach here. We just took over about a year ago here. On the contrary, I knew I wanted to do this when I was 11 years old. I was fortunate to go see Ohio State play Miami down in the national championship back in 2002, beginning of 2002. And it was something I said, I'm going to be that guy one day, the guy with the sweater vest running the guys out there. That's all I wanted to do. I'm originally from Cincinnati. I've been all up and down I-79 corridor, played at the University of Charleston. Coached there a year, went up to West Virginia Wesleyan for a couple of seasons, headed up to IUP. I was up there for 6 years, went back to Charleston, was the offensive coordinator there for 22 and 23 before being fortunate enough to get up here. And we've had great experience. I got a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old, and a 1-year-old too. So we got a bunch of little kids running around. the whole streets of Fairmont between the coaches. I think there's something like 18, right, or something like that. There's like 18 in the athletic department.
It's a lot.
I'm the oldest, isn't he? So yeah, we got a lot of little kids running.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been fortunate to be here. Happy to be here, and we've had a great time, great experience here in Fairmont.
Tim Koenig. Most people don't even know my first name, so TK. No, I'm a little, I guess, Kyle, I'm our oldest. I'll get to our kids. 10, 7, 5. So we have the oldest kid. I didn't know that. I just learned that. That just shows you the gray hair. I'm 40. So there you go. I had no idea I was going to coach. I have a biology degree. I thought that was the path. Didn't really know what I was going to do. And worked camp. And the Carlos Boozer camp. If anybody knows who Carlos Boozer is, we have any basketball people in here? So Carlos Boozer, they needed workers. The guy that ran it, Tim Babb, he ran the camp, and he hired me. I've known him for a long time. Worked the camp. This guy named Kevin Billy was the head coach at Notre Dame College. They needed a GA, so I was the first graduate assistant ever at Notre Dame College, and I decided to go that route instead of some grad school for the science field, and it worked out really well. You know, I found it. How I started coaching, even in the first place, 2 years prior to that in college, I just needed to make some money. So tuition went up. I wasn't as good as some of the players here. So I was a Division III player, so I didn't get a scholarship. You know, I had grant money. So when tuition goes up, mine didn't go up. So it was about $3,500 I needed to get. So that's how I got to be an assistant high school coach my junior year of college. So I did it my junior and senior year. That's how I started, and that's kind of how I figured out I wanted to do this. How I came here, well, Joe Mazzulla left for the Celtics. And I obviously know Joe and know Jared. And when Joe left, there's a few other people that interviewed. I met in Washington, PA at TGI Fridays. We sat at right next to the bar for a couple hours, and that's how the interview went. Got a call a couple days later. Back to the Tim Babb story. I was running, me and him were running an all sports camp at Notre Dame College. That's how we employed our players and the women's players, even just all the student athletes. We hired them, but there really wasn't camps. There's your lacrosse camp and baseball camp, all these different camps. This was just all sports. Let's have fun. Let's do our stuff. So Friday is Pizza Friday. So this was a couple days before I interviewed. So Pizza Friday, I'm carrying in pizzas. And the guy named Chad Fowler, if everybody remembers Chad called me, and he said, well, we're going to offer you the job. And so I said, okay, hold on. So we were doing pizzas for Pizza Friday. So you get the pizzas, figured out the pizzas, called them back, and that's how it all figured itself out. We may say a Dick Moore story as well from the NCAA tournament, but we'll save that for maybe a couple other questions. So there's a path towards here, and just grateful for Joe and Jared for their help along the way.
It's like really fun to hear how every single one of you have a different journey, but that's led you all to this moment on this stage. And like, I just think that's cool. All of us have been led this journey to be here in this very moment. And like, it's cool to see that like, I want to coach in the future. So hearing their stories is super exciting. But with that, obviously some of you have coaching experiences elsewhere. Feel free to like conversate with this question too, like bounce off each other. But like, what is the best part about coaching here at Fairmont State as opposed to anywhere else? I know it's a toughie, but I think you got it.
I would say for me, it's my alma mater.
Yeah.
And it's all I've ever known. So, and I don't want to really know anything else other than Fairmont State because I love it here and I love the community here. And the student athletes make it what it is. Yeah. So I have a good group of student athletes, and they're very competitive, highly competitive. And every day they're pushing me to be a better coach and pushing me outside of my comfort zone as I'm doing the same for them. So I love it here, and I love the athletes that I coach in the community that comes with it.
I haven't coached anywhere else, so, but yeah, I mean, but playing in college somewhere else and then coming here, I will say that I thought the biggest thing that was different was the community. Honestly, I mean, we did not have a fan base whenever the school that I was previously at that I played at. And whenever I came here, the fan base was huge. There was a ton of people that wanted to be involved, that cared about the sport. that wanted to support us, wanted to feed us, wanted to be around, wanted, actually had opinions. And I thought that was awesome. So that was a huge difference when I got here.
I think everybody up here would say the community if we're going down the line. I think that's a big part of it. I mean, it's Thursday evening and you can see the people here that are listening to us talk. So, that's a lot. It says a lot. But I would, you don't understand what this place is until you get here. I coached against Fairmont a couple of times. Until you get actually on campus and you get to walk around and you see everything that we have to offer, it's a lot. It's bigger and better than you actually think until you actually can get on campus and see this building's obviously impressive, the stuff that we have here, and then the history that's been here, for a long time, and be a long time before I was here, it'd be here a long time after they get rid of me. You know what I mean? So
I think it was good to get to different schools. So I did the high school thing for a couple of years, the college stuff for a few years, 12th year as a head coach, but got to do it 6 years at Notre Dame College. I think that's a really good perspective, and coming here, like they said, it's really cool. It's really special. I'm not from here. So, they Danielle and Steph talked about their story. Like, we're not from here. So when we go to games or, go to obviously our games, but go to my kids' games, seeing people just out, Little League baseball, like that stuff's pretty cool. Just seeing folks and talking, like that's the cool thing about this place.
And I think it's awesome that you all say that about the community, because I think that sentiment is also shared from the student athletes. It draws us in, makes us want to not only go to school here, but then keeps us here after and makes us also want to be a part of this community. And I don't know about you, but eventually want to be where you guys are sitting in a couple of years watching someone else up here. So what's one thing, one big goal that you guys have for each of your programs, maybe in the next year, 5, 10, however long you guys see yourself here?
Okay. So we're in emerging sports with the NCAA. So obviously a big goal of ours is to be a sport with the NCAA. We're very close. We have 55 teams, but there's a lot of other things that go with it. Eventually it will break off into Division II, and I want to bring back a Division II national championship, and I know we can do it. Huh? And win. And just continue to win. Yeah.
Honestly, I think whenever I got the job, I wanted to make sure that we were competing nationally year in and year out. I think that was something that I wanted to make sure that whenever we got the program, that we built long-lasting relationships and just made sure that our athletes were better people when they left. And with that, hopefully the wins came. But I wanted to make sure that we were competing at a national level, for the most part, year in and year out, and making sure that we were continuing to do that. So I hope that we can continue to strive for that.
I want to win a conference championship. We haven't done it here in football in 20 years or 25 years now, going on 25 years since 2000. And I said that was our 3-year goal when we first got here. I'd like to do it in year 2.
So there's 3 reasons why we moved our family here from Cleveland, but I met Dave Patterson. Who knows Dave Patterson in the room? Show of hands. That's pretty good. Hands went up. Worked well. So Patterson tells me at the first, because he asked me a similar question. This was after he talked to me. He walks in. I got the press conference. Everybody does their press conference to start. He said, "Coach, I'm going to die soon." And again, you get that and you say, well, in your head, you're not expecting that answer. He said in a nice, loving way, "I'm going to die soon. We're going to win a national championship." I tell every coach, you got to win a national championship. So that's never been done. It's cool. It's something you want to do, something that's never been done before. So at Notre Dame College, they had never gone to the NCAA. We'd never gone to the NCAA tournament. We'd never won a conference title, and we accomplished that. You want guys to do better on and off the court and good in the community and help them find their way afterwards. But if you're really asking, you want to compete at the highest level and you want to do something that's never been done. And the basketball program's so good here, there's only one thing that hasn't been done, and that's win the whole thing.
Yeah. I really like how you mentioned student athletes. Yes, we are athletes, and that's a big part of what we do. But I think all of the coaches make sure that we're one, really good students, and we're here to get a degree, not to play sports and do that for 6 years and blah 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 and not graduate. So coaches here, fantastic, and Division II is a great place to do that. So you tell us your goals; they're awesome. Obviously, it's not cheap to do those things, and it's expensive to put on an entire athletic season every single year, year in, year out, with whether it be travel, whether it be gear, whether it be scholarships. What fundraising do you need to help reach those goals, or what things would you use any donor money for to help you reach the goals you just talked about?
So for us, yes, we are part of the Mountain East Conference, but we also need to compete outside of that to be continue to rank nationally like we are right now. And we're traveling to California in a couple weeks to compete against Azusa. We're ranked number 6. I think they're number 5 in the nation, and we just took down number 3 Gannon in the nation. Yeah. And to continue to do those things, we need the support from our donors. Flights aren't cheap. There's 37 athletes, and I think every single athlete deserves an opportunity to fly and be a part of this program, even if they're not competing. So any little bit helps, and also we need new mats for training purposes and just continue our scholarship money as well, too. So every little bit helps.
I would say similar. I think the biggest thing over the past few years, we've been extremely fortunate to have a lot of people that have been able to donate and help us out. And I think that we've been able to give that back to our student athletes, which 1 has helped with retention and 2 has helped with recruiting. I mean, we've been able to upgrade some facilities. We've been able to update our locker room. We've been able to update our hallway. We've been able to take our team on a couple of trips. We've taken them to DC to see a WNBA game. We've taken them to Hawaii to play 2 games. We've just been able to enhance their experience, and it's been something that we have for 5th-year kids. And I do think that experience and the things that we've been able to do for them has really been helpful. And honestly, they're reaping the benefits of that. And then they're being successful because we've been able to keep kids around for so long. And I think all of that is because of you guys and everything that you guys have done for us. So the donor money goes a long way, and we really appreciate it.
I need new graphics in the hallway first. I mean, if she did her hallway, we got to keep up with the Joneses. So that's what we're looking to do this year. It's old. It hasn't been redone in about 11 years. Everything they said is spot on, obviously. And I got big dudes. They need fed, so we're trying to get a little fueling station going to make sure they have active recovery and the things that they can do. After that, we have 86 kids here in spring ball. That costs money to feed those kids every week the way that they have to do. So, like I said, every little bit helps.
There's obviously stuff, there's stuff that need to get done. There's some analytics stuff that we use. There's equipment. There's, the stuff in the hallway. Yes, the hallway looks nice. we got to get that done. We need to update the people and the coaches. But yeah, there's definitely stuff and equipment and travel. There's meals. We're so appreciative, folks, doing that. But the biggest piece, and that is never going to change, is investing in people. Players, student athletes, coaches. Recruiting the best and the brightest is the number one thing. Then all the stuff that was discussed is extremely important. We've been able to do one thing. It's called HDI intelligence. So I see Ron Everhart in the back. At the big time, at the high major level, at the NBA level, they're using products like this from an analytics standpoint to help not just the team but individuals. And we're able to do that. Now we negotiate a very, very nice price. But things like that we're able to do because of your help. So there are some stuff that helps. The Connexon that we've used. Connexon tracks what the student athletes are doing.
Output load and how much they run and miles per hour, all that stuff.
So when you say, we're going to help you get better, we're going to help you on and off the court, we're going to help you on and off the field, we're going to help you get internships and help you with jobs. But we're going to help take care of your son or your daughter. This is a way to help take care of your son or your daughter. So we're actually not just throwing darts against the wall. We have an idea of we need to do a little less. We need to do a little bit more. We need to do what's quite frankly in your son or daughter's best interest. So it's not just for recruitment and retention. We're also doing things that help them become better while they're here.
Tell them the small world story real quick about HDI. Who's your rep?
Oh, well, Connor Wolf. I didn't know it was his cousin. So he's doing all this work. So we're doing this. We're going back and forth. It's his cousin. I said, so Connor, and we go back and forth, and it came full circle that it's Luke's cousin. I said, so you know Luke Barker? And he just kind of laughed. He said, yeah, that's my cousin. We're going to hang out at Christmas. So he was doing some Kansas, Marquette, and Fairmont State basketball at their Christmas gathering.
He literally left to go do your game.
So those are obviously things that like I know are important and things that are like I'm thankful for when we get those things. I know the Acro team loves our gear. I'm actively wearing shoes we got because of our gear. So I'm extremely thankful for that, and we do use it. But this one's kind of more fun and less practical. If you had unlimited money or money like a Division I university has, like what's one thing you would buy or get or like anything like that? And it can be like outlandish and crazy and fun. It doesn't have to be like super practical, you know?
Well, mine will be pretty practical. We don't have a locker room, so I would absolutely love a locker room for my program.
Absolutely anything. A practice facility.
Yes.
Why not?
That's right.
Yeah.
Full scholarships.
Yes.
Facility's good. That sounds good. Scott, all that stuff is great. Meals, I know they do training tables at bigger schools. That would be just incredible.
Personally, I would love a locker room, but also the Acro team loves our snacks. If I could have an unlimited snack table. We have snacks all the time. The Acro team loves our snacks, and I think other teams also need to get unlimited snacks like we have.
And sorry, the biggest one would be the NIL. That's the thing, so we can compete at the highest level. So if you really want that, that's what I would go in for.
Coach Danielle, I like your answer the most. The men's swim team also doesn't have a locker room, so
There you go.
one day we'll get there.
One day.
So, Coach TK, you kind of touched on this in your last answer, just about all these things to bring in recruits and make sure we have the things to make our athletes successful. What is one thing you guys all see as something that to build a successful program? What is one thing you look for to build a successful program?
The people. That's what you need. That's most important. I mean, if you have the right people in place, doesn't matter about the rest. Is you have the right people that are there for the right goal, you can figure it out.
I second that.
It's always good to be bigger and better in our sport. So bigger, better, and they got to be a culture fit, obviously, too. But bigger and longer, that's what you're looking for, more athletic kids.
As I said before, people's always number one.
Yeah, I think that's like something we talk about a lot because it's so important, and Fairmont State has really facilitated a great community, and it helps recruits come here, and it's just really awesome to see. And I know like we've worked on facility upgrades, especially in the gym. We've got the video board and the new scoring table. It looks awesome in there. The new floors. There's too many things for me to say. Then I would be here all day if I was saying all the upgrades we've had. But it really brings the people in, and like those upgrades are great, but the people around you are even better. So moving kind of away from fundraising for a second, we want to get you guys a chance to like talk about like your favorite memory while you've been a coach here. So anything, it can be little, big, because I know there's probably a lot of them. And I probably should have prepared you for this one so you could have had time to think.
Well, I can go first. I only have an 11-game
Yeah,
sample.
you got it. You got this one good. You got it good.
Yeah, we hit the game winner at Frostburg. We hit the game winner to finish out the year. We finished the month of November 3-0. Didn't give up a point defensively in the fourth quarter. It was also to have the most wins as a first-year staff, something we're proud of. And it was pretty cool to see the people there. You had Dick Moore and Rhonda were there and a whole bunch of people in town that were there, and the hugs and the fun stuff after the fact of hitting the game winner that's probably the highlight of the year after we went like this all year. So, yeah, it was nice to finish that way. That was easy.
I have a lot of memories here. I've been here for a while, but I'd have to say last year we beat, we're very competitive, and we're very competitive when it comes to Frostburg State. And we beat Frostburg State by like 100th of a point. It was like 0.025. We beat Frostburg State by at Frostburg State, and we brought home the regular season title. So it was actually the craziest thing we've ever experienced, but it was so awesome. Yes.
Mine's a mixture of, last season, I guess, obviously the championship run. Winning the championship was amazing, but it wasn't the actual winning. I thought hosting was amazing to see all the people to support. But honestly, one of my favorite things was how my team came out of the locker room in the championship game. I think for me, that was awesome. I mean, we were down whatever, 10, whatever it may be, but the fight that our kids had when they came out of that locker room was special. I think it's just something that's stuck with our culture ever since. And to me, that was awesome.
I'd love to hear from everyone else, like what yours are, what questions, some of the highlights for, I guess, a couple. Number one, my very first game, we weren't winning. I mean, Don, we weren't winning the entire game. They're getting, I'm heckled. Like, Koenig, go back to Cleveland. Like, I'm here. Like, there's the word that starts with F. Like, I mean, it was good. It was just a crazy game. We're down by like 25 in the first half. And Bab leaned in and he said, so because you have to pay people for them to come to your tournament. That's how this works. Okay. How much are we paying these people? Like, how bad is this right now? I said, Bab, I don't know. We're paying them something. We're losing. But we end up winning the game. Cole Von Handorf with a layup at the end. We were winning literally for like a second, and we won the game. That was pretty cool. There's stories, all these game winners, the people, seeing all this stuff. The conference title, that's something that Jared and Joe and the town and, Nikki Arcure and Joe Marandino took me to dinner. Right when I rolled in here, listened to Dick, and Rhonda talk about just the history and how the conference matters so much. To finally do that, we hadn't done it since 1984. And to cut the nets and just see all the people just in tears. That was our players, us, coaches, family, and the whole, swear to God, everybody in the stands was really cool.
I have one more. Also getting to host nationals here last year and competing against Baylor, the top-ranked team. Even though they're unstoppable in a way, it was awesome to see my program step up and hang with them. We were 3 points behind them at half. So that was a really cool opportunity. And it was awesome to see the community of Fairmont State there. The stands were packed. And our last meet recently, if you looked up in the stands, it was filled. So it's really cool to see the community come out and support us. But nationals here was awesome. Yes.
So we touched earlier on the importance of the community that Fairmont State has and the alumni making people want to stay in this area. How do you guys keep your alumni and the community engaged and supportive in your programs?
You say, how do we keep them engaged in our program? Yes. Winning helps.
Winning
helps. Yeah. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
winning helps.
Yeah. When you're 4-4, buddy, and you're in the middle of the season, you're like, oh no, who's going to be around? I promise you, winning helps. Yeah. Win. Yeah. It's pretty.
Put a good product on the floor.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing to stay engaged is you got to be out and around a little bit. All these coaches come to our events. We try to get to all their events, games, all that type of stuff. So I think that's also important.
Okay, so we got some of the serious questions out of the way. And I'm pretty sure Greg, was it you who requested this? Is that who it was, Chris? It was. Okay. So if you've seen our podcast, this is our favorite time of the podcast when we ask fun questions. So for each of you, if you could coach any other sport here at Fairmont State, what sport would you coach? And why? Yeah, I like the why too.
I'll do it first because I did it on the podcast. I told him A&T because it scares me. It scares me. My first 3 days here, we're in the workout and I see a girl fall on her face and just jumps up like it's no big deal. I was like, I have no idea what's going on, but that's what I would coach because they're tough. They're probably the strongest, most athletic people on this campus, to be honest with you. So I would love to see how that whole thing works. Yeah. It's crazy.
I think I'd go with football. I got a lot of aggression. I'm super competitive. So, and that's honestly why I love my job, because I need to take it out somewhere so it's not at home. So it's probably going to be there. So that's probably my answer, because boxing was my first thought. So.
I'd probably have to go with volleyball. My office buddy is Travis, and just watching film with him, I don't have any clue what's going on, but I feel like hitting the ball would actually be a lot of fun, and I feel like you can take a lot of aggression out on that. So I think I would do really well. I have no clue what volleyball is, but I think I could figure it out.
A&T scares me, just like Luke. It's the girls. It's incredible. We've worked together a lot, Travis. I still don't know how to sub in volleyball. I have no idea what's going on. I can hardly swim. I took lessons last year. I'm about as bad as it gets. So I'm definitely not doing swimming. Football, I don't know too much. I guess I did play college baseball. I was really good at that. So I'll coach baseball. Yurish, keep doing your thing. I just want to hang out in Morgantown. You know, the kids do the ball boy stuff. That's perfect for me.
Okay, so the next one is it's like, I don't know, I like to know this because I have some like pregame rituals, but is there anything you guys do the night before a game, day of game, like minutes before the game that you have to do, or like you think things are just not going to go well? Like, are you superstitious in that regard at all?
I'm an extremely superstitious person, but I think that just comes with the nature of the sport that we have. When I was an athlete, I had certain hair ties and socks I had to wear for every meet, and if I didn't do good, I cut my hair ties. But now, as a coach, I have to wear 2 bracelets and 3 rings on this finger and 2 rings on this finger. And if we don't do good, I'll take my rings off during the meet. And that's, I don't know, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, but it gets better. It gets better.
Our whole team is like that too. It's not just her. We're all very, very superstitious.
It's unreal.
I'm not. So, no, honestly, the only thing that I do before the game is pray, and I'd make sure that I do that. So,
I'm not superstitious. I would say I'm a little stitious, if that makes sense. I've called my dad before every game I've ever been a part of. That's probably the only thing I do consistently throughout it. Yeah, now since I've been a head coach, run out, give the kids a kiss, but that's it. I mean, I don't do anything the same all the time. Yeah.
I wear the same clothes at home games. Wear the same clothes at road games. That's pretty much how it works at the radio show on Mondays. I have the same jacket. Brian, I switched for a couple weeks, but then I got a lot of slack for that. So I said, okay, we can't make changes. I'll go to the same jacket and jeans. That's that. I listen to a couple songs that I like. I text, my wife, my mom, my dad, Donald's dad. Brian always sends me a 1-0, so I always heart that. There's a few people that I like talked to before, but that's about it. A couple songs, call it a day.
What are your guys's?
So this started my freshman year, and then I stopped sophomore and junior year. But freshman year, we won the conference. Sophomore and junior year, we did not win the conference tournament. So I've resorted back to my old ways. Every single night before a home game, I go to Muriel's, and I get the manicotti and the salad with ranch. And then I have to get the lemon berry cake dessert. Even I really don't like it that much anymore these days, but I get it every single time, and I eat the whole thing. And then also Riley, my teammate, she has to do my hair. That's I don't know what I'm going to do without her next year, so I'm a little bit scared, but those are mostly mine, I would say.
For me, listening to music 100% as loud as I can. I don't want to hear a single thing except for the music. And not being ready for my race right up until the moment. There's a picture of me at our conference meet my freshman year. I still have my hoodie on, my clothes on, don't have my cap and goggles on. Everyone else in my heat is lined up, ready to roll, and I'm maybe 60 seconds away from the race. I don't want to be ready until it's time. I don't want to think about it. So if you guys weren't here coaching, what is one dream job you would want to be doing?
Oh, that's easy. I want to own the Cleveland Guardians. Are you kidding me? I just saw Adam Rahali. I mean, I definitely own the Cleveland Guardians. You want the Pirates? Is that what you want? Sound about right? Good. What's that? Well, you have Skeens, so let's not get carried away here.
I was always told I had a face for radio, so I'd just go do a radio guy. I'd go hang out with Travis. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I do love to vacation, so I'd be a stay-at-home vacation with my kids. I'd probably get crazy.
I know. I was gonna say maybe no.
I don't know about that. COVID made me not a stay-at-home mom. I'll let you
Correct.
know that. So
Say like a stay-at-home mom, but my kids still go to daycare.
yeah, that's how I feel. Something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right. I go on the vacation and then they come at the end. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
I think I'd want to own a golf course. I think that sounds fun. Yeah, be a nice little greenskeeper. So what's one piece of advice you guys maybe got in your upbringing, in your athletics career that has stuck with you, that you maybe call back to still today?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine's always been controllables. I think my whole life, adversity has hit a lot. And I think for me, someone when I was young told me to control the things that I can, effort and attitude. And for me, that's been pivotal for my life because when you can't control a lot of the other things, that's always been something that I could always rely on. And it's kind of made me who I am. And so I think that that's been something that's been huge for me. And it's been something that I continue to echo every day in my program all day long. So.
Mine would be the moment I get comfortable, there's something wrong. I should always continue to be uncomfortable in what I'm doing. And if that happens to me, I try to figure out what I'm doing and learn from my athletes. But I'd have to say, like, being uncomfortable in certain situations is a good thing, and you want that in your coaching career.
I just say work. You know what I mean? Work will always outwork talent. You know, if you get talented guys that can work, you'll be just fine. And if you're a little less talented, there's guys that'll just outwork people. They'll find a spot somewhere. You know, I was less talented. Just work, figure it out.
Just be yourself. I'm a scrappy little point guard that I said, man, I want to ISO one-on-one and score. And then, no, Tim, no, don't do that. Just get the ball to Reggie. Like that's what you need to do. And I learned that. And it was you don't even know who Reggie is. Do you want Reggie to shoot or do you want me to shoot, Danielle? Probably Reggie, right? There you go. So no, just be yourself. So for that, work hard, do the right thing. That's pretty much it. As a coach, I got advice again from Bab. Don't let the spiders get you. Don't let the little things get you down. It's a saying for just don't let the little stuff get you. So pick your battles. That's all.
Yeah, and as we start to wrap up, we're going to kind of go on that path a little bit further, but like, what's your coaching mantra? Like, if you're getting in a huddle and things are not the best or things are going really well, like what are you always going to lean on and what are you always going to say to your athletes to keep them motivated?
I'm always super calm. Super calm. If anybody's ever seen me in a huddle, you would know that. No, I'm not that calm. I wish. I'm a feisty little person, but honestly, it honestly goes back to the controllables, right? We're huge about the effort, the attitude. That is the only thing that will light me up. Nothing lights me up more whenever I think we're getting outworked and whenever I think that our attitude is not where it needs to be. So those are something that I always lean back on. And I talk about habits constantly in our program. We try to teach them to have good habits from day one and how are our habits today. And that's something that we talk about in those huddles is making sure like where our habits are. Are we doing our habits every single day? Because if we're not, that's something we just try to get them back to their center. So.
Mine is we do 3 yes I cans and then a yes I will, and that's how we start out a meet. And then during the meet, scoring is all over the place, so it's not over until you hit team event. And we get a 3-second rule. Something drops, you got 3 seconds to be angry about it, but you gotta let it go. If you don't let it go, it affects the rest of the meet. We love adversity, and we just continue to face it. Full send, I guess. So I try to be calm as much as I can, but sometimes I get really fired up in these huddles. But I think really it's just keeping my athletes calm is the way to go, and then just reminding them that they know how to do these things and that it's muscle memory at this point. So now go out and show it and do it like you know how to do it. And that's really it, I think.
Yeah, our program values are SOAR. We have our SOAR mentality. I'll talk about something that's in there. Sacrificing group that's opportunistic, holds each other accountable, and is resilient. And at any point throughout a game, there's something that fits under that you're going to be able to bring up that goes back to. She talked about muscle memory. It's the same thing in the mental memory of being able to put yourself back in a situation where we've talked about it or run through it before. And so we'll talk about something that falls underneath there, whether it has to be loud or whether it has to be calm. It kind of depends on the moment.
We have 3 core values, but every situation is different. Yeah. So like when you say, what are you going to say? Well, it depends. I mean, it depends. We don't coach everybody the same. Like we just don't. So if people have their rules, we got a few rules, but we don't coach everybody the same. Every situation is different. So it depends on that and whatever's in front of us. We kind of adjust and go back to the 3 core values, but really just work hard, be a good person, do the right thing. And that applies to basketball. If you're supposed to shoot it, we'll shoot. If you're not, be a good teammate. We try to keep it simple.
Well, so as we wrap up here, is there anything you guys would like to say to the donors, the community?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
The right answer.
Thank you. But questions? I mean,
Yeah.
I'll hand the mic over. What do you got? Anything? Other than thank you. Oh, there we go. Chris has it. Are you loud enough? Can you project, Chris? Oh, good, good. Whoa, that's a question. The transfer portal is always a serious thing. So you never fully 100% know. There's obviously behind the scenes recruiting that you're not, it doesn't like affect you. We have a very open relationship with our team. We have end of the year meetings where it's whenever you, anytime in the office, say whatever you want. But very open, honest conversations. We have a lot of graduates. So specific people, like we know there's certain ones that are going to graduate. We know that there's probably one or two that's going to be actively recruited by other programs. Can I do like a Dumb and Dumber IOU? Can I do like an IOU and give that answer in like maybe at the end of the year? Is that good? I'm sidestepping this question. Is that not good enough? Can you tell me? Yeah, be more direct. He has one more year. We're gonna. Yeah. Yes, one more year, and we plan on him coming back. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of opportunities, I'm sure. You want to have people to have opportunities when they're that good. People aren't calling for. He'll have a lot of opportunities. Obviously, I'm looking back. Coach Everhart in the back understands that very well because he worked at even a higher level. All the coaches in this room, but like your business. If some of your top salesmen or women or whatever field you're in, yeah, I'm sure they're going to have some opportunities. So we'll see. We'll address it, and we'll go from there. It's sometimes things are lucrative in our field and a little more lucrative now, and we'll just kind of go from there. But yes, we plan on him coming back, and he does as well. It's a great question.
Questions?
Adam.
This came from Drew for you again, TK. You mentioned your habit about clothes. What happens at the end of the cycle with, say, plans that don't win?
Oh. Do I need to tell the story? Drew wants me to tell the story. Okay. He's cracking jokes. My wife Nicole's in the back. She said, "No, don't tell the story." I guess I have to tell the story now. Sorry, Nikki. I went, so I got in a stance. I really need to hand this off to these three, but I got in a stance, and wrote stuff down. I did the old squat move. That didn't work out very well. So what happens when you think you squat in a nice defensive stance with dress pants on?
They rip.
Smart people. So it ripped. So the game it ripped. We tried to figure that out and had some sewing going on before the game, and it was just ruined. So we burned the pants. We turned the page. We burned the pants. We got new pants. That's what happened. Can somebody else answer this question, please?
I don't have a pants
Is
issue.
there any
I'm
chance?
good.
No,
I'm good.
not at all. Okay, nice. That's a good question. What else do we have? How about something for? Oh, nice. Here we go.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I know when we're at our meets, there's probably every other team there at our meets. The support is unreal, and I think that also comes from the coaches as well. We have a really tight relationship, I feel like, with all of our coaches up in athletics, and it's really cool to see a lot of our student athletes supporting one another at least our meets, and I know for the following.
Yep.
I'd agree.
Yeah, and from a student athlete perspective, it's definitely there too. That's part of what the Student Athlete Advisory Committee is there to do. We have an internal affairs committee, which makes sure everybody is supporting one another and doing those things. So it's not just the coaches saying we get along and everything's all good. Me and Chris are best friends. We're on 2 different sports. A lot of my closest friends are on volleyball and things like that. So yes, our teams are our best friends, but we have a lot of best friends from other teams as well. Are there any more questions? Anything? Greg's. Oh, Greg.
Guys, let's give these guys a big round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to throw out a couple of thank yous. Even though you haven't eaten the meal yet, it's going to be a fantastic meal. So let's give a hand to Aladdin for them. I also want to thank the person that kind of spearheaded this and got it off the ground, and that's our assistant AD, Simone Statham. Thank you. Great job. I do have a couple things I want to do. For those of you that may be attending the MEC tournament next week, starts on Wednesday. Of course, our teams don't play Wednesday because we don't finish in those positions. Okay? Women start Thursday at 6 o'clock. Men start Friday at noon. I have a couple of all-access passes, okay, that will make available for a price, okay, which will allow you entrance into free parking, every game, and also Reed Amos's hospitality area, okay? So if anybody's interested in those two credentials, all access passes, okay, I will, and TK is going to help me with this because he talks better than I do sometimes, but we will make them available for the initial bid of $200 if anybody's interested. I got $200 back here. Anybody else? Got two and a quarter? 300. Oh, there we go. We got 300.
Did you throw in the beers, Greg? There's
The what?
beers. There's beers there. You gotta let them know.
Beers in Reed
Beers and
Amos's
food,
hospitality.
yes.
Of course there
Yes.
is. Okay, we got 300 back here. Anybody else? Okay, access to everything. Drink as much of Reed Amos's beer as you want. 350 back here, Mr. Pilata. Thank you so much. I'm not a real good auctioneer, so as you can tell. Okay, we got 350, Chris Pilata. Anybody else? $400. Okay. $400. I'm just looking around the room. TK, help me out, buddy.
I'm not really an auctioneer. 400. How many? Greg, again, is this how many passes? How many?
Just two.
We got
two
two
credentials.
passes. We got two. So we got
Two
parking
credentials.
passes. We've got food. We got drinks. We got games. Ladies' games.
Men's games, everything.
Now, ladies are Thursday night, 6 o'clock, correct? Thursday at 6.
They all start on Wednesday. You can have a great weekend in downtown Wheeling if that's where you want to go for the weekend.
If we're going
No
Wednesday,
offense to Wheeling.
more power to you. You really love basketball. Good for you. Extra. So, but if you're going just for Fairmont, you got Thursday. We're Friday afternoon. Then obviously the whole weekend. 2 passes. Has anybody sat in them? Do you have anybody that's been in those passes before? Okay, please. Anything. Yes, how great it is. Fantastic. $400. I think that's a great move.
$400
Do we need
going
more?
once? I think that's what you said. Going twice? Sold for $400.
All right,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks again for everybody coming out. I think the meal will hopefully be getting ready to get going. Thanks to you guys. That was fantastic. It was very enjoyable. Thanks to you too. All right. Thanks for enjoying it, and I'll be in touch with you in just a second. So thank you very much. Enjoy yourselves.